Hey, good morning, Keller Williams. Welcome to another Monday. Who's ready for some area tech training? For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Tim Lester. I am the area tech trainer for El Paso, Lubbock, Midland, and Amarillo. We're going to be talking about the DTD2 today. And for those of you who are not familiar with the DTD2, this is a system to call people. It's all around calling people and making sure you're touching that database. We know from the MREA2 that it's going to take 36 touches a year for you to maintain that client as your client and to get a conversion and to keep that hopeful 10% of database conversion. So I'm excited about today's class. If any of you saw my regional training, forget that one because this is the same training, but much cleaner and less stressed. Also today's training, I took some of it from Allison Zidlicky's class in Amarillo. So we're kind of taking some stuff from each other and pushing each other forward and growing in our systems. So today we're going to talk about how to utilize that database. We've been building this database. We've been talking about it. We talked about segmenting via tags and how can we utilize that to communicate to the right people at the right time. And today we're going to take the DTD2 and make sure we're talking to the right people. Okay. Awesome. Let me fire this up. This is not hard. I'm going to be using an iPhone. This works the same on Android. I'm going to be showing you my iPhone screen so you can see kind of how this flow works. But what we're going to do is we're going to take our database, segment it out in DTD2 tags, and then create a list via those tags of who we're calling and start calling them directly from our iPhone and taking notes right there. So again, this works with Android phones as well. It's just different software. So here we go. Let's take a look at the command. So for those of you who don't know how to get to command, if you're new agents, go to agent.kw.com. If you're brand new and you have no idea what a database is, I would ask that you go back and watch the previous classes, but if not, let me simply say this. You have a database. You have people that you need to be contacting. And now we're going to get them into command and start utilizing that data to make sure we're getting those 36 touches. So we're going to be in the contacts widget today. I'm going to work in my personal database, so please don't call these people, but if you do, they're still not going to work with you. They'll work with me. But let's check this out. So let's go into my personal database. We're going to go into contacts. And we talked about this data segmentation, how we take a big database and make it smaller. This is not a big database. This is about 150 contacts. This is about a smallish to medium size database. I suspect most of you right now, if you pulled up your contacts app and scrolled to the bottom, 500, 600, 700 contacts at least. Not all of them are perfectly usable, but I bet a majority of them are. So you probably have a bigger database than this. But I want to talk about doing DTD2. And again, if that doesn't resonate with you or you have no idea what that actually means, that's okay. We can work through that. So in the DTD2, we have a schedule. We have a set letter that we're calling every week. And by breaking it up into the schedule, we contact that client 4 times a year. So they're getting 4 calls a year as long as we follow through with that schedule. Now, some of you are going to have databases big enough to where you're having to call 2 letters a week. Some of you are going to have databases small enough to where you can do a letter a week. Either way, if you consistent with it and follow the same schedule, you will continue contacting that person enough times to get to your 36 goals. So first off, in our contacts, you can see that I've kind of started this and showing it. We have taken our last name Carters and tagged them DTD2C and then our Ds. So the first off is if I want to bulk tag people, I have to pre-create that tag. If I'm inside the contact, I can go ahead and make that tag right there. But if I want to do a bulk tag and get everybody at once, we've got to make it ahead of time. So how do we do that? So let's go up here to settings. We're going to click on our name, settings. We're going to come over to command, contacts, and we're going to click on contact tags. So in here, we can create some different tags to work with. So you see we've already created C and D. I want to go ahead, C and B. I'm going to go ahead and create D and E. So let's create a tag, type it in. Oh, hang on. I may have already made D. Oh, made D and E. We're going to do F and G. Glad I clicked the next button. So DTD2F, I want them to be consistently the same color for my own sanity. And let's go ahead and make G2. So DTD2G. Okay, so now we've made these two tags to utilize and tag our database. We want to create as many segmentations as possible to make sure we have as many opportunities to contact them and to keep our communication clear with the right people. So let's go back to our contacts. And what I want you to do is come over here and click on the name. So when you click on this name, we're going to sort by last name A to Z. All right. So now we've got it sorted by last name A to Z. You see I have kind of a weird one with a period, but that's fine. So the next thing I'm going to do, I want to see a whole lot more contacts. I only have 150, so we'll just do 100. And see, I've already tagged all of our C's, all of our D's, and our 1E. So if I want to keep going, I want to organize this database. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start selecting. So I've got 4 F's. So we're going to shift, hold, and check down, and it will check all of our F's. And all I'm going to do is come to select bulk action, add bulk tag, and we're going to go down to our DTD2F. And we're going to hit submit. And what you'll see is when it refreshes, those guys should all be tagged DTD2F. And then let's go ahead and just do our G's too. So here's our G's. Oh, don't have very many. Go down to our G's, select bulk action, add bulk tag, and then we're going to do our G's. Beautiful. So we've got our tags here. So what can we do with this? How do we use this within the idea of the DTD2 system? So we know we have a schedule and people we need to call. Now you could come in here and do it straight from the computer here. You can go to filters, tags, DTD2B, say the B is our week, and we can filter by this and we can call. We've got our number right here. So if you want to call, dialing in phone numbers and then work from this way, you could add activities. So you could call in, put your notes in. If you're on a Mac, you actually can click this number and call. I'm not going to click it because it will call them, and it'll call through your iPhone. So that's that Mac iPhone thing. Same thing with an Android and Windows phone. If you're on Google Chrome, you should be able to click that phone number and it automatically kick over to your phone. So that's one way. I want to show you another way. And it's kind of obvious that I didn't figure it out sooner, and I was a little embarrassed. But again, I want to thank Allison Zedlicki. She helped me come up with this idea and make sure that it implements well. Let's switch over. Give me 1 second. Let me switch screens here. All right, new screen recording. All right, give me 1 more second, guys. Sorry, it's not always the fastest thing in the world. All right, and we should be able to see that now. Okay, so this is my iPhone. This is my exact iPhone. Here we'll just remind you how adorable my daughter is. Very important in every class for you to know how adorable my daughter is. So let's jump in here. Let's take a look. So we're going to jump in this iPhone. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up Google Chrome. And we're going to go to agent.kw.com. And you can do this in Safari too. I use Google Chrome for this reason alone. When I tap the username, it saves my logins and does it Face ID, which is just nice. So we sign in we're signing into command on a mobile device. All right, we're going to jump in. We're going to click on the KW here, go down to contacts. Let me switch over to my personal instead of my team. All right, now we've got our contacts, and we can see that there's some people here, but we know that today we're supposed to be communicating with our DTD2B. So we're going to click on this little filters button that is right here. And, oh, sorry, right here. Helps if you hit the right one. So we're going to click on that. We're going to go to tags, and we're going to scroll down to DTD2B. And then hit apply. So now I've got all of my Bs. These are all the people I need to call. So what are we going to do? Well, from an iPhone perspective and from an Android, all you got to do is start tapping numbers. So if I was going to call Colton Barron here, I could tap that phone number, hit call, and it's going to load up the call button. I'm going to hit cancel, but it will call straight through. But notice what else it did. It brought up that activity tracker. So when we start talking about keeping track and making sure that we're getting those 36 touches, this is amazingly simple. So it popped it up. I can have my phone call. If I've got my AirPods in, I could have just simply had a call and been taking notes. And as we're talking, I'm going to keep talking. We're going to take notes. Great. Awesome. Hit add to timeline, and we're done. Now, the next important thing. Notice what it did. It didn't take us back to that person's timeline. It took us back to our call list, which is what we want to happen. So now we just go down to Deborah Baker. We hit the phone number. We hit call. So didn't answer. Left voicemail. Oop. No. Hit add to timeline. Scroll down. Jeannie Brooks. Hit it. Call. I think you're seeing how easy this is. This can be that simple and that fast. Now, someone is going to ask me about the texting because that's always the question I get. When we hit that text, I have Twilio set up. So it pulls up Twilio to text them. It is not going to pull up your texting. It's not going to pull up iMessage. It's not going to pull up Google Messenger. This is built for Twilio. We are trying to figure out some ways to make that work, but right now, if you text, it will go through Twilio. So this is really good for calls. You can use it for texting too, if you want. I think it'd be a little faster on a computer personally. So, guys, this is it. This is a super short class. I'm going to take a couple extra minutes and talk about one other update that just came out, but I wanted to show you this because I have so many people that ask about calling and about how to just get through their calls through command. And this is a prime and easy way to handle that. I should have put my phone in do not disturb mode first because now I'm getting texts. But guys, this is super simple. Now, the one maintenance thing is when you add a new contact, you got to tag them. But for a lot of new agents, this is a really easy tag. I have a lot of new agents come in and they say, I don't know what to tag people. Like, how do we segment? Like, do I need to segment? This is a perfect, easy tag to implement. And it's not hard at all. So, guys, that's the entire class. I know that was super short, like 15 minutes. I am going to take a couple of minutes here in a second. We're going to go through Twilio call forwarding. But I really wanted to talk about this, and I want to hear your questions, and I want to hear how we can help implement this at a high level. So whether you have 150 contacts or 10,000, this works. This works. The only thing is, I will say this, when you hit 10,000 and you search by that, you've got to keep track of where you stop if you have multiple days of calling. But guys, this is super easy and super awesome. I am going to take a second to pivot here. Let me kill my screen share. And we will stop that one. All right. And let's get up the new screen. Okay, so the second part here we're going to talk about is call forwarding. This has been a pretty highly discussed function. I did put out a video by Marty Miller last week on how to do this, but I had a lot of agents still asking, so I just want to walk through it. And I'm going to do it right here. So we're going to set it up, walk through. I want to get through the initial questions that we're going to get. This does not forward text messages to the number. It only forwards calls. So if you're getting a call, and this happened to me when I sent out a bunch of text messages for, it was trunk or treat. I had quite a few people that they didn't look at it and they just hit the callback number and it didn't go anywhere. It just kind of goes to this dead line. So that doesn't happen anymore. So with the Twilio call forwarding, once you have it set up, if they call that Twilio number, it will forward through to your phone. It will also send their phone number. So if you're unable to answer and you have to call them back, you've got their phone number and you can call them back and say, hey, here we go. If you have PieSync set up, it will also have their contact information because their contact information was already in command. So it should already be on your phone. That's a different conversation, but I definitely want to talk. I want you to understand the value of someone calling you back from a text message. So to set that up, and I'm going to make this big because it's not a big portion here. So inside of here, we're going to go to manage on our Twilio. So like right now I have it set up, but you can come into manage. I'm going to disable call forwarding so I can set it up again. So we're going to hit manage. And you're going to have this setup call forwarding. Please note, every time you set up call forwarding, it costs you 6 credits. So if you're changing this phone number a lot, that can get very expensive very fast. So pay attention to what this is. The other thing to pay attention to is if when they call, it costs you 3 credits per minute. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a 500 credit plan and you get 10 phone calls that last 10 minutes, you've just used a majority of your credits. So just keep an eye on that. I wouldn't be having long conversations. Honestly, a majority of the time, I would answer the phone and simply say, hey, can I give you a call back from my personal line to keep my business line open? Simple script. Go ahead and do it and see how they feel about it. But it's super important to not just sit on the phone and burn through your credits. Not expensive, but not cheap. So let's set up call forwarding. This is very straightforward. We're just going to hit set up call forwarding. We're going to give it a number. I'm going to give it my direct cell phone number. And they're going to make sure you're paying attention to this. We're going to hit assign number. It's going to send me a verification code directly to my cell phone. All right. We're going to verify number and we're done. That's it. That's all there is to it. This is not one of the more difficult things to do with command, but it is a very nice piece. So let's talk about usage. When they call, it will call, ring your phone. I will warn you of this. I would answer your phone because we have found that especially Verizon doesn't like to leave voicemails. It won't connect to the voicemail system. We've talked with Verizon a couple of times. We're trying to figure out why, but specifically Verizon, and I think sometimes T-Mobile, it just won't go to voicemail. So answer your phone. We all know as realtors, we need to be answering our phones. So answer your phone. Talk to them, say, hey, great, can I give you a call back in just a second from my personal line? Give them a call from there, save your credits, and that's it. This is super, super easy, and it's very valuable because there are those people that as soon as you send that mass text, they're going to go, who is this? Wait, what? And they hit that call button, and they're going to call you. So we're not losing those leads and those people. Awesome. Okay, so that was a pretty big update that came through. It works very well. It's very nice. I would recommend testing it so you can kind of hear how that works. I love it. I certainly love that it puts their information through. So if I do for some reason miss that call, I still have their phone number and I can call them back as soon as I'm free from whatever I'm doing at the moment. So that's it. I didn't want to take too much of your time today, guys. I really wanted to talk through the DTD2. I want you to ask questions. You can put them in the comments. You can email me always at tim.lester@kw.com. I just wanted to give that opportunity to really utilize the system and begin putting the pieces together, because as we talk database and building a database, if you're not using it, you're not getting business. So that's where we're at this week. I had some great quotes for you. I completely forgot to plug them in, but here we go. You know what? You get quotes anyways, because I do love good quote. So communication, the human connection is the key to personal and career success. Paul Meyer, 100% agree. If you go all automated, you're not going to get the connections you want. And this is the most true in my life. The single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. How many times have I specifically thought I talked to somebody and they understood and they had no idea what I was saying? I bet there's at least one person on this call right now that's exactly that same way. So I don't want to take that for granted. I want you to contact, put them in the comments. Let's talk through this. If you have questions, if there's a certain pain point you're feeling, let me know. We would love to keep pushing this database conversation and having success from it. So guys, that's what I've got for you this week. I don't want to waste too much of your time. I really respect and appreciate you giving me this time. We're going to be back next week with some more database conversations and wrapping up our database conversations next month and getting into some smarter options. So y'all have a fantastic Monday and go sell some houses.